And welcome to another episode of Strangers in the Alps, a movie podcast. Yes, it's a movie podcast, where every week we discuss movies in a very deep, informative ramble.
And we have a podcast about
That's
them.
aggressive.
And my name is Dan.
Today, my name is Travis.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Frank.
And today we watched, well, Travis, why don't you read the back of the VHS tape that we all watched together in the den of our cabin?
Why did we not record this episode in Spanish?
Record.
Oh,
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Travis.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
We start doing the rap.
Dan, say something in Spanish.
que lástima.
Well, Dan, while we're
What?
eating,
What the
Dan,
What did he say?
He said that's too bad.
well, Dan, while we're eating dinner, recording this podcast, do you have anything to say about the dishes we're eating?
What?
The pepperoni pizza?
No, it was gonna be like the Spanish-inspired dishes.
The pepperoni pizza?
No, I thought you were gonna
From
do.
southern Spain?
No, I thought you were gonna. I was trying to get you to do your line from Three Amigos.
Let me say it in Spanish.
Do you have anything besides Mexican food?
All right, so
Guacamole contest, really, Dan?
Guacamole. A television reporter and cameraman follow emergency workers into a dark apartment building and are quickly locked inside with something terrifying.
Wait, that is not the movie I watched.
What?
You watched Father of the Bride.
You want to read that again? Because that is not the movie I watched.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Oh, no. Which wreck did you see? Oh, he's making
I
a
watched
face.
Wreck-It Wreck.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Wreck.
I mean, Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck the Ralphs.
I just
That's
typed
true.
in Wreck, and that was the first thing that came up. Yes, that's the movie I watched. I'm just kidding.
Was that the joke, really?
You
No.
loved
Oh,
it.
all right.
You're funny.
So this is a
You're
2007,
so
She's
funny.
so.
Okay.
a
whoa,
2000 film, rated R, an hour and 18 minutes.
2000?
7.
You forgot
that really wouldn't have been the right
number.
movie. So let's just straight up say this movie had writing on it. You had to read.
Oh,
Unless you
subtitles?
understand Spanish.
Yeah.
Had writing on the
Not for everyone, buddy.
on the screen. It was from Barcelona. That's where they
Barcelona.
shot it.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Booksmart.
Yeah.
The movie
Barcelona.
is now. It said on the back of my VHS tape that the movie is an hour 18, but when I started watching it on our streaming service, it said an hour 15.
Yeah, Voodoo said an hour 15.
So I'm curious about that missing 3 minutes.
You'll never
I've got
know.
you for 3 minutes.
3 minutes of playtime.
Thank you. No, so I'll just start. This film came out when I was
2007?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say when I was in high school.
And then it came in 2008.
You would have been what, 14, 15?
No, I was 16, I think. But this was a movie where it was weird. This was like right before streaming wasn't a big thing yet. It wasn't even really a thing. And so this was very much like someone in the back of the classroom was like, hey, like my older brother saw this movie that he said was super scary called Wreck. And I was like, oh, that's cool. She's like, because it's like a video camera. Wreck. It says it in the corner of the screen. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Did that actually happen?
And then they kept going,
Yeah, that's
and
a
you were
true
like,
story.
that's cool. And then they were like
No,
insisting, and you were like, no, I said that's cool.
Stop bothering me.
No, but that's how I kind of like found out about the movie. It was like a very like back of the video store, you know.
Wait, are we doing initial thoughts already?
I don't know. I'm just saying that's
That's a good initial thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't say anything else.
So you did your initial thoughts.
Boom. Got him.
Roasted.
very underground.
I'll
That'll
just
go with
jump
that.
in. We'll go out of order. I had never heard of this movie.
Much like everything
But everyone else had.
Really did not know this movie at all. And our friend Brian, I mentioned it to him. Oh yeah, we're watching Wreck this week. And Brian, oh yeah, that's a good one. That is a really good movie. I said, okay, cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it then. He said, just to give you a heads up, it's found footage and the camera's really shaky.
Oh,
And I went, oh no.
But it's not as shaky
please
as other
don't
stuff,
tell me
but we can
that.
get into that later.
And all I could think of was Blair Witch. It's all I could think of. It's
not
like,
as bad as
please
Blair
don't
Witch.
let me go
Blair
through that
Witch.
And then you
again.
had breakfast this
So
morning.
I went into it sadly with not a negative attitude. I still wanted to really
Just
see it because he
preparing.
said it was really good. But yes, preparing myself for the things I do not like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, found footage is one thing, but just that shaky camera, it drives me nuts.
For
But-
those that don't
Yeah,
know,
we'll get into more about it as we talk about the film. But
for those that don't know, Dan does not like found footage.
I'm not a fan.
How many times have you seen it?
I see.
I
It
should
was
have asked.
either my. I want to
Wow,
say
that many or not that many?
no.
I'm
wanna
not
say
sure
maybe
why you're
I
taking
want
so
to
long
say
to
maybe
think of
my
it.
third time. I was thinking maybe fourth, but I think it was 3 because I remember I'd seen it initially, and then you and I watched it, and then I watched it again.
Sam, was this another COVID watch for you?
No, actually, it was.
She lived it.
And
I was the one actually in
Angela
the
This is
was
building.
before
me.
she came to the
Conchita
States.
was me.
Conchita.
This is before she
Conchita.
came to the States. This is why she came to the States.
quesadillas. No,
That would have gotten me the hell out of Spain. I'll tell you that right
too
now.
late. No, it was 2008. I went to
Oh.
this film program, and it was during the editing period, so we were pretty much locked in this building 24/7. Yeah, so at night,
Sirens.
our friend brought over this the movie, and he's like, "Oh, let's watch it." So we turned off the lights, and then I've never heard of it before, and this pretty much, yeah.
How many of
Okay.
you survived?
I've survived this 6 times.
Oh, that's nice.
But we
This
did.
will be my 6th time seeing it.
We did watch it.
Clearly, you don't like this
I
movie.
hate it so much.
Queerly.
No, I was gonna say Dan, it was not a COVID, but we did watch it. Sam and I did watch it at one point during COVID, though. In your
Yeah.
patio.
Yeah. Our patio series.
Your patio. Get it? Because you were repetitive.
What's your initial thoughts,
Frank,
Frank?
what was
My
your...
initial thought is that
Or how many times have you seen it?
I've seen it 3 times. Not that much.
Copied me.
I actually saw the remake first.
You
I hadn't heard about this movie.
That's
That's what
about
happened.
quarantine?
Yes.
That's what happened to me with Old Boy.
Ew, brother.
Yeah, I had seen the remake first.
Who's in quarantine? Anybody we know?
Jennifer.
Jennifer Carpenter
What is she
and
in?
I believe Jay Hernandez.
Oh, from Hostel?
I've actually
Yeah.
never seen it.
Is it
I refuse
is
to.
it basically the exact same thing?
Yeah.
Pretty much, except that it's got some slight differences.
But the last shot is the same.
The last shot is the same. There's a lot of the same shots and same setups. There's
Where
like
does
one
it
or
take place?
takes place in Los Angeles.
But
I feel like there's 1 or 2 things that it did that or 2 or 3 things that it did that I was like, oh, I would have liked to have seen this in the original too, but we'll get into that later.
and
One of them being that the dog actually makes an appearance in Quarantine
Hold on,
in the
let-
building still.
Let Frank finish his initial thoughts.
oh yeah.
But yeah, I saw Quarantine first. I think it was one of the first movies I saw, like, post graduation, and like it was one of the first times I saw a movie by myself, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm here watching a horror movie by myself. But I did enjoy the experience, and then I watched Rec. Actually, several years later. I didn't like look for it until quite recently, like in the last maybe 5 or 6 years that I saw it. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts.
It's interesting because looking at what the movie's about, Quarantine is actually probably a better title because
I don't
Rec
know.
gives you no indication of anything.
Well, when you
In
watch
fact-
it, you're like, oh, record.
Yeah, but I mean, as Hollywood often does, Quarantine's right on the nose.
It kind of dumbs it
Yeah,
down. They
I don't
kind of
like
dumb
it.
it
I
down
like
a little
Rec.
bit.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
think-
I'm
and-
fine with it.
And this is
Title
just,
Rec.
I think this is just one of the cases, like, they've done it, like, several times, like Hollywood, where it was, like, a foreign movie comes out that's, like, a hit, and they're like, well, people don't want to read, so
Let's do it, but English.
let's make an English version.
It's a very tough sell to do a big release with subtitles
Yeah,
and expect that you're going to get a big turnout.
I feel like it's done more now than it was in the past, especially when this movie came out. But it's still kind of hard to get people to go see
Oh,
subs.
foreign? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a couple years right after this, too, just slightly off topic, but we'll go back, was Let the Right One In. I know that
yeah.
was, like, right after.
Mm. That was a great one, too.
But, Dan, so before you talked to Brian and your friend Michael this morning,
Well, actually, I talked to Brian a few days ago.
No, I said Michael this morning.
Yes.
What was your initial? What did you think the movie was? Like, if when you had just heard us say last week, "Oh, we're gonna do Wreck," like, I mean, I'm guessing you knew it was some kind of horror movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you think it?
And I saw the poster or the whatever, you know, before, you know, whatever comes up when you're looking it up. What am I going to watch it on?
Okay,
So I
so then
saw
you
that.
figured it out. Okay.
I didn't figure anything out. It didn't indicate zombies or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just.
And you didn't read the synopsis before you
No.
started?
So when the
I knew you were gonna
so when
love
the
it.
zombies came in, were you just like, I was not expecting that at all?
Or did you just go with it?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that I was. I mean, I think
Frank.
very early going in, when they're in the building, they go up and you see the old lady upstairs. I
You
said,
knew.
okay, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Conchita.
that they were what the deal was, but very quickly you realize she was infected by something,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just went with it. The thing I was going to say, I was talking to Michael this morning about breakfast, was it took me a while to adjust to reading the subtitles and watching the action of the movie. Not
Yeah.
so much at the beginning because there wasn't, but once it just launched. And by the way, I paused my with the remote from the first attack was 13 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's a quick
The
start.
first attack in the cave last week was over 50 minutes in.
So
What a
you
difference.
appreciate it.
That's a
What was
big-
the movie last week,
that's a
Dan? Again?
Big. Well, it hasn't come out yet, so
Oh yeah. It was
Descent.
The Descent.
The decent.
big difference. But you know, obviously this movie is much shorter as well. Well, not much
yeah,
shorter,
about
but
half
also
an
in
hour.
a different
a half hour
language.
shorter.
This movie's
Only
only.
totally different kind of approach, though. This movie has a totally different approach. But anyway, I was saying to Michael, it's like, oh my gosh, it was like when the real action scenes were going and the dialogue's flying. I was like, really hard for me to follow. And then I realized all I'm reading is stop, don't turn that camera off. Pablo, no, stop. And I'm like, why am I reading any of this? Why is this even on? Why are they subtitling these? What I can make out without. And then I would read it again when things would calm down because important information was being shared. But there was a lot of those one word exclamations.
So you would say that they chose correctly where to info dump and where not to? Like you could pick up without having to read the subtitles. You kind of knew what was going on, so you didn't really need to read it. But then
I just stopped when the action was going on.
Yeah,
I figured if
and
I got to
you-
go back and watch it again to just do nothing but read it, I'll do that. But I found it wasn't necessary. In fact, I started thinking, I wonder if they hadn't had subtitles and I just would have watched the movie in Spanish with no idea what they were saying. I wonder how I would have
probably coulda
followed
figured
that
some of
movie.
it out.
I wonder what I would have figured out without hearing any of the dialogue.
I feel like visually they
Because visually,
good
it
job.
really it makes sense.
But
it's
if
coherent.
if anyone, do not ever watch the English dub of this version. And
Oh,
it's
yeah, what
not
happened?
me. It's not me trying to be pretentious. Like
But
you
also
have
kinda.
to hear the actor's true performance. It's me. It is some of the absolute
Well, it's so
worst
delayed.
dubbing.
It's terrible.
It's very
Can
much
we
like
play a
like
clip?
Do you have Voodoo on your iPad?
I don't.
My iPad's
I have-
somewhere.
but no one on a podcast is going to see the.
Yeah, they're not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
do
Delay.
that.
I have
Okay.
it on my.
It's really bad.
Is it? I don't know about.
Yeah, that
the
would be
boot.
really distracting. Plus, there was also something kind of. Some sort of additional creep factor to it that it was in another language.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I think for sure.
Did it feel like you
May-
were stumbling upon something you weren't meant to see?
Maybe.
Are you okay? Stop. He's scratching his beard.
On the microphone.
Yeah, we get it. You have a beard.
Wait, can you still hear
No, no. Yeah, we can hear it.
It kind of sounds like a
It's
campfire.
like someone. It's like someone has a sponge in my brain.
A sponge with many holes.
Shut the fuck up.
Welcome and good evening. This is Angela Vidal. Tonight, just like
Vidal.
every night, we're going to be
Does not
sharing some
match.
special midnight moments with.
That's terrible.
One more.
Okay, I can't do any more of that. Thank you so much.
No, that'd be
Horrible.
awful to watch.
Make it stop.
Okay,
watch
now
Battle
that we have
Royale
all
like that.
heard
Oh,
it,
why are you leaving it next to me?
I'm moving it.
Thank you.
For horror factor.
You are a whore.
For fear factor.
There's so much movement and there's so much stuff going on visually when things really kick off that it's, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but really had a hard time following the subtitles at that point.
That's fine.
Wow.
What did
Yeah. Wow.
you all think of like
I'm used to my dinner with Andre, it's just very slow.
A steady
very,
shot.
can
the,
just
the arcade
read.
the
Just
arcade
read.
game? What did everyone think of the like initial premise? How it's a reporter. What is it called? Like while you're all sleeping.
Yeah.
While you're
While you're
asleep.
While
Sleep.
you're sleeping, and she's
While
at
you're
like
asleep.
while you're asleep, and
Which
she's
I
at
believe was a movie with.
Sleepless in
while
Seattle.
You were no,
No,
that was the
no,
name
while
of the
you were
movie. While you,
sleeping.
it's where the nurse she thinks that
No, she was a toll. She works like at a toll booth or something.
It's Sandra Bullock, right?
Sandra Bullock, yes.
Sandra Bullock.
And they think she's his boyfriend. He's in a
yeah,
coma.
because at the hospital. That's what
He's
I
in
was
a
getting
coma
to.
and she-
While
they
you're,
think
is it
she-
while you're sleeping?
It was
Yes.
while you were sleeping. I think
Wait,
the
is
name of
she like a stalker?
But
or
honestly,
something?
looking back, that's creepy.
It's very creepy.
At the time, it's
it. It's
romantic.
a very sweet movie.
It's like the movie Overboard. If it was not for the chemistry of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, my God, is that a
Were they
horror
Well,
together
movie?
at that
just
time?
watch the remake, and then you'll see without the
I
chemistry.
saw the remake.
Wait, were they together?
Yes.
I think that's how they met.
Oh.
I think that's actually how they got together. Was that movie?
That's
Oh,
cool.
okay. Okay.
See, something came out of it.
Yeah, I thought the movie's fine. You can't read
I watched
deeply
No,
into
I
a
watched
movie
that
like
movie all
that.
the time.
Anna Faris that was in the remake?
No, it was.
Yes.
It was,
oh, yes,
it was
it
the
was.
opposite. It was a guy who
What's his
had
name?
amnesia.
Eugenio de Benez. I probably totally
Derbez.
Wow, the
Derbez.
way you're...
Yeah, which is-
Instructions not
it's
included.
it's so weird seeing him in that movie and seeing him in general in movies because when I was growing up, he used to have a variety comedy show on Spanish television.
Mhm.
And my mom and I would stay up late to watch it, and it was super, super funny. It was really, really well done. He did a lot of. It's basically like SNL, but it was
just
all.
him?
It was all just him. Well, I mean, yeah, he had other actors,
Right.
but he was the main focus.
Was it really loud and really colorful with really loud music and lots of people laughing
Kinda, yeah.
and like overly sexy girls that are just hanging around in the shot for some
Where are you
unknown
going
reason?
with this?
no,
Yeah,
No,
what are you
Anytime
doing?
I flip past and gotten into like a Mexican station, that's what I see.
no, it was like it was super,
Spanish
super good.
station?
Sorry,
super
Spanish.
funny. But
But aren't a lot of them? No,
and it
Not from
actually had a
Mexico?
really
I don't
good
know.
title too. So like his
I
last
like
name
making
is
you uncomfortable. Come on,
Derbez.
Travis, join in the conversation.
So his last name is Derbez, but the name of the show was called De Vez en Cuando, which in Spanish actually translate to every once in a while. It's a cute little
Play
like
on words.
play on words, yeah. But it was a really good show. So like seeing him in movies now, it's like
Awkward.
what? This is what are you
Yeah.
doing on this side?
For me, it's kind of like Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Seeing him just in normal
He
like,
always plays Mr. Well, sometimes.
I cannot go there.
No, you can't. You
Is this
can't
making you
go.
uncomfortable, Dan?
No, I don't get Mr. Bean.
You'd
I
rather not
don't
touch
get-
that bean.
I don't get Mr. Bean. I don't get any of the
Black Adler.
anything that guy has touched. I do not get.
Well, I got it.
I don't think he's funny.
I heard his
at
wife
all.
is very nice.
I'm sure he's a lovely guy. Probably be fun to work with.
I don't know why, but I grew up on it. I
I
don't
loved
know.
it.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
You grew up on it?
just not.
I grew up on the bean.
I've been told, but I don't have any firsthand
Knowledge.
experience of this. I've been told that Spanish soap operas are really fun to watch,
They are.
and the reason, I already know the answer, but I want to hear Frank say it.
They're exaggerated. That's for fucking sure.
That's who I've heard. I've actually never seen one, but it's who I've been told. Like, if you go across, like, I've never seen porn, but I hear that.
Okay,
It's
Dan. We don't need to
interesting.
lie.
All right. So, anyways, Rack.
No, we're going.
So,
It-
found footage pornos.
It's just. Oh, that's actually a great idea.
I'm not part of.
Why is
No.
it found footage though? That's the
Ah.
part I don't get.
Anyways, back to the movie Rack.
Are you finding some Spanish
I
soap
I
operas?
am,
Can you
but
play, can you play a little audio for us?
I'm gonna
Have you ever run across one?
But I feel like Thai soap operas are the same because it's so exaggerated and like the dialogue could be like, "I went to have dinner," and there's like a Hans Zimmer score in the background, like Mombasa,
It's like
and it's like, "We went to have dinner, okay?"
I love the one there. There was one that had like at least 17 like zoom in shots on
There
every
you go.
every like person in the scene over like some reveal. It was
like the
most ridiculous thing
And, like,
ever, and I loved it.
Yeah, and then, like, I don't know for you, but for Thai soap operas, every episode someone has to get slapped.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like a thing?
Yeah, and it's just like, you cheated, or like, you slept with my husband.
But I mean, the
Boop.
basis of all these soap operas, right? I mean, even American ones when I was a kid, and that's all that was on TV in the afternoon when I was growing
Yeah.
up before cable.
Days of Our Lives,
That's
how many
all it
seasons
was.
are there?
You were just
General
watching
Hospital.
stuff like
Yeah.
as a kid, going, "I shouldn't be watching this."
I should know
like
about
these
this.
people all having affairs with each other. There's all kinds of really
Someone would always-
trashy, inappropriate stuff going on in these soap operas.
But they make a
No, I
lot
was
of
saying,
money.
and then I remember one that was like some
Right.
I
soap
think they're
opera.
all streaming now. I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything on
No.
network anymore.
I just
But
remember.
no, but I also, they have like cons too. They go to
Oh,
like
do they?
soap cons, because I know at City Walk they used to have them for Days of Our Lives.
You're thi-
Really?
Yeah, where they just have like, they have a booth, like a
Panel.
long, panel in front of the theater. And it's just like, wow.
A good friend of mine was actually on Days of Our Lives for about 14 episodes. He was
Oh,
like
wow.
he was a doctor. It's what they had a storyline going on in France, and he was hired to be Dr. Licard or something, and he had to do a fake French accent. He'd never done a French accent. He just said, "Yeah, I can do that."
Did he
And
do
so
it well?
So he talk like this, and he
Oh.
sort of take care of it. Does that sound good to you? Because that's kind of what he sounded like. I
Yeah.
don't think anybody cared.
So
No.
he was only
It's a soap
so
opera. Anything can
14
happen.
episodes. So what? He filmed like 2 days, and then he was like,
I think
done.
he was like maybe a week and a half, something like that.
So what movie did we watch?
We
don't know.
watch telenovelas and I don't know.
So the premise.
I don't fucking know.
Do we need to do a quick summary?
I think we should.
Is anybody still listening?
So I can
I
summarize it.
stopped.
So
I know.
the episode starts with
The
it's
episode?
No, sorry. I'm gonna say like it's an episode of the show. Like okay. So the movie starts with it's kind of like the beginning of this anchor like host for a TV show called While You Were Sleeping.
While
I know.
you're asleep.
Oh my
While you're
God.
asleep, I know.
And
And
Sandra Bullock walks through
and
the screen.
it's-
This episode's going to be longer than the movie.
and she was at a
It already is.
and she's at a
that's
fire
the goal.
she's at a firehouse overnight, basically
Fire
that
station.
night.
A fire
station. Why did I say
station.
firehouse?
Are you okay?
You all are
Isn't,
looking at
isn't
me.
Firehouse a Subway sandwich place?
Yeah, Firehouse
Firehouse
Substation.
So they were at the Subway sandwich place, and she was getting her turkey supreme.
Not toasted.
And then they locked up the subway. That would make sense, locking it up. Some kind of biological.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. So she's at the fire station. She's like,
For what show?
For while you were
Oh,
asleep.
for heaven's sake! Oh yeah, that is right.
So they're following her, and she's like, just it's basically one of those like public, almost like public access
Yeah.
shows. Like no one,
A day in the life of.
a day in the life of like no one really watches it.
Yes.
But and then she's kind of praying. She's like, "Oh, I don't like. I hate to say this because the fireman tells her, 70% of our calls are just like going to someone's, a water leak or."
That's the part when I went, "Oh, something really
and-
serious
yeah,
is
'cause
going to
then she
happen,"
goes-
because they're waiting way too much
she's
time.
like-
Nothing really happens.
She's like,
Wait, that's like only 5
yeah.
minutes.
She's
Dan.
like, I don't want to be
We're
like
3 minutes
morbid.
in.
She's like, I don't want to be like morbid, but like I kind of wish like something would happen. Like this alarm would go off. He goes, yeah,
Karma.
no, probably not gonna happen. And then they're playing basketball, and the alarm goes off, and they're like, oh, some old lady got like locked in a house or something, so we're just gonna go there. So she follows.
She doesn't follow. She jumps into the
Well,
fire
she
truck.
follows them she follows them at their journey, getting ready, going. She's in the fire
And
truck.
there's some really key dialogue. I just want to throw in real quick while you're doing this. She tells Pablo, the camera guy, don't stop recording no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And that's repeated several times in the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie, which I did not miss that every time it was said. And I'll talk about why later.
So they get to the apartment building. People are speaking in Spanish. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Travis.
all of a sudden,
Oh my
and I'm
god.
going, what the hell is going on? How far did they go?
Stupid.
Yeah, so and then the super or like is like the manager is like, oh, everyone stay back, like it's okay, because like everyone, like the other people in the units are coming out to see what's going on because the fire trucks are there. So then the fire department, and then the managers and the fire department's like, oh, do we have your permission to break open the door? And they're like, yeah, go
You're
ahead.
going scene by scene.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just
can you
saying because they
summarize
say
this
the
thing,
lady's
please?
super weird. So they break open the door, and then the lady's standing there, and she bites the fire.
Conchita.
Yeah, she bites
Conchita.
No, police officer.
she bites the police officer, and then Right, and they're like, oh, we got to get
Like
him.
in the jugular,
Yeah,
man.
and then they're like, we got to get him help. And then all of a sudden they hear all these sirens outside. And they're like, you cannot go outside. This building.
They seal the building.
They seal the building. They don't know why yet. So, yeah, we find out, oh, my God, like, there's zombies in here. And they're all sealed in and they can't get out.
Infected people.
Infected people. Well, I'm not going to go.
And we don't know what from where until later.
Yes. So that's
And
the
even then, I'm not sure.
But with that being said, I will say initially, because I know Dan's going to talk about it. Yes, one of the big. I think you kind of have to suspend your belief with some found footage movies where why are they still recording? No one in their right mind.
But
Right.
no, but they said
Well,
it.
no. I'm saying that's not the point I'm trying to make. Like one of the big examples is, like I said, like you got to tell yourself, yeah, it's a movie. Like one of the big examples where I don't think people was like Cloverfield.
Oh, you're talking about in general.
Yeah, in general, like something there would be no reasoning why, and they'd be like, oh, because people want to see this. It's like, no, you wouldn't be the way they're framing everything, you know.
Well, you're not thinking about the bigger picture, Travis.
But I'm saying, but I liked in Rec, because that's what I liked the setup. I liked that it was a TV show,
Right.
And I feel like they fully went into the concept where, like, even the way it was shot, I think they shot it at like 30 frames because it actually looked like you were watching a TV show. It didn't go for the, oh, this is found footage, but like
The high
Cloverfield,
def.
we're gonna make it look like cinematic.
Yeah.
Like a motion, you know, like a big budget motion picture. So that's what kind of made me kind of, and like I said, there was a TV show, so I'm like, no, it makes sense why they're filming. It's a late night show. No one's watching it. She wants to get people to watch the show. So that's why I'm going to still record. I kind of went with it with this one.
I had no problem with why they were, all that stuff was being videotaped or was all on camera. Not only because she made it very clear we have to keep this going, but like you're saying, it's a travel log. There's journalism involved here, or at least an opportunity for journalism. And obviously they don't know to what extent this is all going to end up being. So she's just trying to get everything on. So if and when they do leave, she's got this amazing
She has her
story
Emmy.
that nobody has. She's got, like, she's already seeing stuff nobody is going to see. So it totally made sense to me. There was a point later in the movie when it's like, okay, it's up against, you know, we're going to die here, possibly, where the camera starts to drop, they lose the light. I mean, there's things happening that make you keep going. And then I can put it in infrared so I can see where you are. I mean, they kept coming up with reasons why you would still have the camera on. So I did appreciate that. Whereas in other movies, I'm like, no, you just wouldn't have it on anymore.
What do you think, Sam? How do you feel about found footage in general?
I think this one is way less shakier than Blair Witch. As above, so below. I didn't watch Cloverfield, so I can't compare.
Really?
But yeah, I didn't want to.
Well, okay.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, Sam. I don't mean to interrupt you, but the issue too that it kind of run with Cloverfield and some other found footage movies is they try to make it seem, I don't want to say too personal, but they try to like justify the found footage more, like Cloverfield, where it's like, oh, it's at a friend's going away party. So they spend like the first 15 minutes of the movie just walking around an apartment, like everyone say hi to the camera, and it's people talking. And when you watch it, you're just kind of like, I remember with one of my friends when we used to watch a movie, we would skip past that every single time because it's like, why is this?
What's the point?
It's boring. Like it feels too much like a gimmick.
Yeah.
Whereas with this one, like we were saying, within what you said, Dan, 13 minutes.
13 minutes.
And even from the beginning, because it's like, oh, you're following them. It makes sense. Like I'm with the concept, and it moves. It's not slow.
Yeah.
Like when they get into the apartment building, when the firemen get there and the police officers are there, and there are some tenants down on the main floor, and they're all kind of discussing over each other, like what's going on. It still feels very kind of ordinary, kind of, oh, we heard screaming upstairs from a woman. She's crazy, whatever. So it still felt very like, oh, this is not a big deal. Let's figure out what it is. And even when they go into her apartment, and he's like, hey, we're going to take you to the hospital. It's okay. And now I'm watching her going, yeah, I'm not walking close to that woman.
They learned their
but
lesson.
I'm watching
though.
a movie. And so even then, and then of course when she goes ballistic on the cop and tears out his jugular, Yeah,
Looked pretty good.
yeah.
But-
It
Felt right.
it gets going. It still has its moments of breath though. It still breathes here a while, and then to a point, then it
Yeah.
doesn't anymore.
They
It
learn-
stops.
Balls
They
to the
they
wall.
learn their lesson though, because what happens to the second person they find? That older lady, she's up there, and they're like, "Hello," and she turns and they just start shooting her like 10 times.
No, the same lady.
That's the
Oh yeah, it's the same
woman.
lady. Yeah, same lady.
Man, you were trying to mess with my head.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
was
do.
like, what
Yeah, they
older-
just
that's the
blew,
oldest.
they just blew her away.
I was a little thrown though by the guy who came crashing down. the
Oh.
no,
That's
but I
my
mean,
second
I couldn't
favorite
figure out-
scene.
I couldn't figure out who that was.
was a
The
fireman.
fireman.
But
Because
where
it
had
was
he
the
been?
bald guy, Alex, and the other guy,
Yeah,
I
but
forgot his name.
Where had he been?
He was
though?
upstairs.
He was
Did
upstairs.
we,
He was
did
just
we know
chilling.
that he had been left upstairs?
Yes.
I think when they
Okay.
ran out, they just kind of left him.
Possible that I just missed that moment.
Going-
Yeah, that was crazy.
Going back really quick, when I first watched this movie, I hadn't really seen a lot of horror movies because it was around the same time where I was kind of
Getting
getting
into
into
it?
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they met my girl Conchita,
Conchita.
it
Concha.
it frightened me because it didn't go the same route as like normal U.S. horror movies with like jump scares and all that stuff. It's just her just doing all these crazy shit. And I'm like, oh, things can happen with it being so jump scary that would terrify you. And I think that's what clicked in me. Like, I
There's
can be
other
terrified
ways.
other ways where it's
Yeah.
deeply like terrifying. So that part for me was like, okay, I like horror movies.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Yeah,
The
you don't need a
Strangers?
jump.
No.
What?
We gotta watch it. Then.
You don't
I
need a
know.
jump scare if you have a truly
Horrifying
an
subject.
intense moment, a moment of where you as an audience are going, well, this something really bad is going to happen, and you're just waiting for those bad things to happen. You don't need things to jump out of nowhere to scare you. You can just watch it in real time, like later in the film when Pablo gets up and starts videotaping through the window to see
Yeah.
what's going
Oh,
on.
the attic?
What's going
Oh,
on
The two
with
guys?
the two cops or the cop and the fireman that are,
already got
they're
bit?
injecting them. I assume they're injecting them to kill them. I don't know. I mean, that was the assumption
feel-
I made.
Mhm.
And then you watch that, and then of course the guy just jumps up and grabs the guy. That's that kind of stuff. And he's like, it's really scary.
Because
Mhm.
they're building it. You're having like a, what's happening on the screen, what's happening off the screen. I think the environment itself they're building is
It's
so tense and
claustrophobic.
scary. It's claustrophobic that, like you said, you don't have to rely on the jump scares because you just feel like you're in the moment.
Yeah.
Like the scene that I really, really, really like in the movie is, it is probably about like 20 minutes in, when they're saying, oh, that like this cop's gonna like bleed out, like we gotta take him out. Maybe we can go to the shop next door. So they then go up to the windows and you see they
Oh.
start putting down all the sheets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That part, like I said, so simple. That was crazy to me. It really built it. I was like, oh, like shit, like stuff's really going down, and you hear like the siren. You don't even like you hear them, but you can just
You
tell
know
it was
there's
probably
no
like
escape.
it was probably just like like I said, people standing outside, like crew with lights, just holding it. But it was like so just creepy and claustrophobic, and I don't know. Like I said, like you just felt like you were there with them.
The lighting, too.
I
Yeah,
liked
the
how information was just how it was being doled
Yeah.
out throughout the story, how we were building all this stuff. It wasn't just all thrown at us at once, or it wasn't all just thrown at us in a way where we go, well, that's just a little too convenient, isn't it? I mean, this is very believable to me. Not the zombie part being like, yeah, I believe that, but this how the health department and how the police would react is, hey, we're locked. They don't say that to them, but we're sealing you up.
Yeah. Going back, I forgot to mention what I like about the whole found footage in this one and what works for me is how they utilize the fast forward and the rewind.
Oh yeah.
Because that also adds into that environment of this is actually found footage. Because you don't really get that in other stuff, right? I don't really know much
don't
about
know
found
much.
footage.
Sam, you're going to hate me.
Well,
I didn't like it.
why? Did it take you out?
Yeah, because... finish your thought first, and then I'll say...
That was pretty much it.
Really?
And I like that it added to the environment of the found footage.
I think if it was... I don't know. There's just something about that... like, this movie does a lot of gimmicks with found footage that are really cool that I like. But that one I don't. Only
you're wrong.
because if it were really a recording, it wouldn't have recorded the rewind and the replay.
Yeah.
That would be something that you yourself would see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like I mentioned earlier, and I won't do this too much, but that's one of the things that I liked about the way Quarantine handled the scene. It was just a jump cut. She watches that footage, but you don't get it rewound. It just jumps to the next scene. That's how it would probably play out. I think it's cool seeing it. It's just that's a moment that kind of breaks the immersion for me.
You're not in a because he's not filming that.
But it's not like an egregious sin. It's just something that I'm like,
Wouldn't happen.
No, it wouldn't happen.
I take it more of like them watching it on the camcorder for me.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be.
I didn't
And
really.
that's why I think that it could still work. It's just since I'm a like techie person.
Oh, you're calling me stupid.
No, it's just that I'm like
Push
my
up your
mind
glasses, Frank.
my mind immediately went to, oh, that's not how that technology works. It wouldn't record the rewind, but I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just that's one of the things that I'm like, that's fine.
Okay, what other things did you like?
Or didn't
About the
like.
movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the lighting. Like I was trying to figure out if they actually used lights and how they hid them, or if it was all just natural lighting. But it's very dramatic. Like a lot of the lighting is very contrasty. It's very punchy and bright. But they leave a lot of room for shadows, which I think really works.
You love shadows.
And I do. And the fact that it manages to still look like a movie that was like filmed on a camcorder, but also lit with purpose, I think was really cool. Like it gets away with the camcorder thing, but also still looks like a movie. I don't know. It was just I like that little detail about it. Like I know it was probably made like on a shoestring budget, but it doesn't show it, at least in terms of technique.
1.7 budget.
Yeah, that's not bad.
What was the budget?
I will say it was
1.7?
very well cast.
Yeah.
Very
Dull
well
hairs.
cast. I thought everybody in it was really good. I didn't think anybody kind of rang with a false note. And like some found footage or movies of this kind of genre,
Name them.
where
Shame
you
them.
feel like the dialogue is kind of, well, we just saw one not too long ago where we talked about how the dialogue wasn't very good and wasn't really moving forward a lot of time. What was
it? It wasn't
Was it
The
Hell
Descent.
House LLC?
No,
It
it
already
wasn't
came out.
that. It
wasn't
was
Descent
not.
either.
It wasn't that long ago.
Was it the one with the? It wasn't the one the Leslie Vernon.
No, this wasn't that long
He said
ago.
recent. Hold on.
This was fairly recent. And we discussed the fact that, it really felt like this dialogue really could have really used a little bit of help.
And it was
As well.
found footage.
This one didn't feel that way. This one felt,
It wasn't Don't Breathe
Natural.
either. Not Don't Breathe.
No, it couldn't have been Don't Breathe.
no, Don't Breathe this.
Dan loved Don't Breathe.
Wait, which one was Don't Breathe?
Don't breathe.
That's how much I
Don't
loved
Breathe.
The one where
The
they.
blind dude.
Yeah, where they break into his house.
it. Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't-
Overlord.
I can't remember.
Ooh, Overlord. Was it Overlord?
No, this was a docu-style movie. This was a
What was the recent documentary?
I don't think we've watched a lot of found
The
footage.
last one we watched was Hell House LLC.
okay. Well, I can't remember. Maybe I'm thinking on a.
Or was it Drop Dead Gorgeous?
No. Those
I
are all
forgot we
too.
did that.
Those are way too long ago. Anyway, I don't remember. It's
Anywho.
okay.
Can I tell
the
you-
point is, I thought it felt very real, but I'm wondering in my mind how much it was actually scripted. Like
I
there was actual
just
dialogue
remembered.
that was
they
written.
hit the script or what's going to happen next to the actors. So I think most of it was improv. And then I read somewhere, because you mentioned how Angela kept going, don't stop recording, or Pablo or whatever. And so I read an article, like, if you were put in her shoes, you would pretty much say the same thing, like, run, don't stop recording, blah, blah, blah. It makes sense, but it is annoying. But if you think of it that way, like,
No, I was fine with it. I just
I got annoyed
realized I
after a
didn't
certain
need to be
point.
reading all that dialogue when I was
it's reading.
watching the action.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was distracting for me to keep trying to see, what are they saying? This might be important. I was like, they're not saying anything important.
Mhm.
So I stopped reading it.
Paranormal Activity. That's the one.
Paranormal.
That's the one where the dialogue was like, okay, why are we
No.
watching this?
Yeah, what was the
Paranorman.
storyline?
The house with the ghost.
The house
Oh yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you guys need help with this dialogue, man.
Yeah, because they were saying it more than showing it.
Just wasn't
Yeah.
good dialogue.
No.
These
In
were
the
clearly
1970s.
two actors that really didn't know how to improv. And I'm sure that some of these actors that were used in this film were probably,
Straight actors.
better at improving and understanding how to
More
keep it moving
seasoned.
forward
Yeah.
without saying really. And who knows how much footage was shot and how much footage was edited in?
True.
With this, there
Mhm.
could have been a ton of stuff that they didn't use.
Can I tell you guys my favorite scene? Actually, I
Sure.
want you guys to guess my favorite scene.
It's
I think you know.
I know. I thought, but you said it was your second. I thought it was when the guy fireman falls
That's my
down
second favorite.
What's your favorite?
with the girl. Yeah, the girl bites into the mom.
That was crazy.
That reveal was insane. To
She
back
has a
up,
fever.
to back
No,
tonsillitis.
it's tonsillitis. She just has
To
tonsillitis.
It's
back
just
up a
tonsillitis.
bit, it was finally revealed why people got infected. The doctor finally came in, maybe 30 minutes into the movie.
Tell me about the health inspector
Yeah.
guy, not the health inspector, but the guy who's going to do the testing.
Yes, in the yellow whatever.
Hazmat.
Yes, and he was saying how there was a dog that went to the vet a week ago,
Max.
and then it started acting erratically, followed the chip in its ear to this apartment, and it belonged to the girl that supposedly has tonsillitis.
Right, there's that whole scene.
And then it pans to the daughter and the mom, and the mom's like, "That's not it." She's just
And what has the
normally
mom
sick.
been doing with the daughter the whole time? Just like
Holding
holding
her.
her.
And then the daughter just my all-time favorite, just her slowly turning to her mom, but her back's towards the camera.
Oh,
And the mom's
so
like,
creepy.
"That's not her. She can't do it." And then just goes for her eye. Love it.
And then
She didn't
she's still
see it
biting
coming.
her, and she's like, "No, it's really not her. It's
No,
really
it's
tonsillitis. I
tonsillitis."
swear."
She does this all the time. She's just
Yeah.
playing around.
She's just teething.
Yeah.
That whole set from that, because to me, from that moment, when the daughter does that, that's when the movie kicks into high gear and
Yeah.
never lets go. That's when everything starts to go
And that's
crazy.
only 10 minutes in.
And I didn't stop at that point. To
The
see
opening
where we were.
credits just finished.
But I will say, and look, this is no fault of the movie. It's just a matter of this is the way things are when you're telling stories. People were getting infected and getting crazy really fast.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it spread fast.
Whereas at the beginning of the movie, it took a long time for that cop who got bit to
Yeah.
then become a zombie. After the girl did it, whoever got bit was pretty much crazy within minutes.
It's a new variant.
And I get it. I mean, I'm not. That's just, we don't need a 3-hour
When
movie.
they need him to
Plus, we
turn.
know what's happening now.
They need him to turn when it's convenient for the plot.
Well,
okay?
that's exactly, and you need them to turn to to get to that big
Advance.
climb. But when they couldn't unhandcuff her, which why would you unhandcuff the mom? She's been bit. She's going to be a zombie.
Yeah, it was Angela that was like,
Leaving her handcuff was a good place to put her.
right. And they should have realized because they saw those two cops turn.
Somehow they weren't
But
putting
not
two and two
that.
together
Like,
yet.
Angela's like, "The mom." Like, no, bitch, keep her handcuffed.
I was sorry to see bald-headed
Yeah,
fire guy go
Alex,
down, and we didn't
mhm.
really even see that happen, that I recall.
How did you feel when you saw the needle go in the cheek when Pablo was shooting from the window?
That was. I don't really love that stuff.
From the Dan meter. Let's pull out the
That
Dan
was
meter.
not great. The Dan meter. I mean, I've been.
Meter.
Yeah, I think for me, it like just doing something gross doesn't necessarily gross me out. But if I'm truly engaged and involved in the situation in the moment, like I'm really into it, then stuff like that will really like me go, oh man, I don't want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I felt in that.
Gotcha. So a 4.
But like in Evil Dead Rise, when by you're in Act 3 and she's pulling out the chainsaw and cutting people in half, I'm just watching.
Eating carrots,
I'm
right?
just-
Wasn't that the one?
Maybe. I'm literally watching going, I'm so checked out of this emotionally. I don't know any of you and I don't care about any of you.
Just end. Just
Whereas
cut it.
in this
cut it off.
movie, you're really, because, you are, like last week in Descent, you're in that
That
apartment
cave,
building.
yeah.
You're
Mhm.
stuck in there with the rest of them. You're in that cave stuck with the rest of them.
Mhm.
And when you're in that situation, yeah, and if it's well done, as that movie was and this movie was, you are. And that all that stuff you get like, oh.
Do that again?
Yeah, because you're fine. And like I said, the way it's so
Would
cleverly
you like to
done.
isolate that? Hang on.
Like, like Dan, the way it's done, like we've been saying, it's okay. Like first they're quarantined and they don't know why. It's like the information slowly revealed in time, but at the same time, it's like you're finding out everything as soon as the characters do.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I love that.
You're never
Ahead of
like
the game.
ahead.
Yeah.
Like you said, and they do it so well. Like they have the twist where, you know, like you said with the daughter, where it's like, oh shit, wait, daughter,
Right.
bam.
Yeah.
You're not like, oh, where's she gonna
They're
turn?
gonna find out. Yeah.
You're gonna find out.
Well, you're never ahead of the plot because they don't do what a lot of movies, not just like this, but movies in general tend to do is overweight you with exposition, where they give you so much information. You're going, okay, well, that's going to happen. That's going to
Yeah.
happen. That's why they're telling us this. That's why this movie doesn't do that.
Did I
this
ever-
movie pretty much gives you no real
And that
exposition
adds-
outside of I'm on this show
Right.
and we're going to go with the firemen all night.
And that adds to the
Yeah.
horror of it.
Absolutely.
Frank, somehow Palpatine returned.
I want to ask you, Frank.
Ask me.
Okay, that part when Angela finds the keys in the intern's apartment,
Oh.
comes
I
out.
love that scene.
Same. It finds out that Alex is in there, looks over the banister, and then a bunch of them pop out.
Oh, I love
How
that.
did you? Okay.
I fucking love that. There's a, there's a similar shot in 28 Days Later that I also love. It's a very simple way of like creeping you out. You know, it's just like, hey, we're here.
It's creepy, but also sad because I loved Alex at that point. So then seeing him with the rest of the
Being- yeah,
infected,
it's
like,
like,
That
oh.
bald-headed fireman.
Yeah.
He was great.
yeah. So seeing him, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
No,
No.
you were the chosen one.
No. Oh no.
Oh no.
Not Alex.
So basically, not to jump ahead, but I mean, there at this point, you've got Pablo the cameraman, you've got
Angela.
you have Angela the journalist.
Angela's not the journalist.
Who's the journalist?
Angela. He's
He's,
being.
he's just
I don't
He's-
even get what you're doing. Tell me. I need to know what the joke was.
Nothing. There's no
No-
joke.
no.
He's pulling a Travis. It's fine. Keep going.
Go on.
But you have to be referencing something.
I'm not referencing anything.
No,
I'm
he's
just like
being-
messing with you.
He's being annoying.
Oh, he is. Absolutely. So now we're down to the two of them. I'm just
Yeah.
jumping ahead. We're down to the two of them. And they go up to this penthouse, which we were told about earlier in the story. Nobody's up there. I don't remember what they said about the penthouse. I don't remember getting a lot of information.
I don't remember
but
either.
I do remember them talking about it. Do you remember, Travis, what the information was?
Yeah,
n-
talk. It's
now
a
he's not s-
podcast, my
now
guy.
he's
I'm
not
shaking my
talking.
head now.
So they get up to the penthouse, and then we take another turn, which I
You
was
don't like it?
I was talking to Michael about it, and what I said to Michael, and then he told me something, and I'll share everything real quick. I said to Michael, I feel like this movie would have been just fine without going up to the penthouse and finding
Really?
out that information. I don't need to know why these people are zombies. I mean, there's a million zombie movies. I'm like I'm accepting of this concept that there's viruses, that these things happen in a science fiction world or in the horror world. So I don't know that I needed this whole explanation of how it happened. Not that I wasn't interested while it was happening.
Right.
Not that I wasn't really engaged in it because while you're showing me this, I'm interested.
Yeah.
But then I also said, about halfway through this movie, I thought, no one's going to get out of this. No one is logically going to
No.
escape this because if you get somebody out, then you need some Hollywood ending to get that. But hang
Well-
on. Then Michael says, well, in the second movie, and then he told me all about the second movie.
Well, there's a fourth one.
He said the third and fourth are not good.
The third sucks. The fourth's
Oh, maybe
okay.
he said the third. But even the second one, he said picks up exactly where this was. So I said, yeah, she gets dragged off. I see everybody goes, oh, well. He goes, well. I
Yeah.
said, really? Really? Because I was okay with the ending. Like, I don't need another movie. I'm not saying there shouldn't be. I'm just saying. So maybe the writer and directors, I think there was two guys that wrote and directed, already had this in mind when they made it, that they were going to continue and make something else. So it wasn't just one of these tacked on sequels like they do in most movies. And they go, oh, we're going to do a sequel that have no business making. So I am kind of intrigued about the second movie. He said it's good, but not
Great.
comparable to the first
Yeah,
one.
Well,
it's fine.
I will say.
But it picks up right where this one leaves off.
Yeah.
So I'm, if we're not going to watch it, I
I
don't.
think it's part of it, no?
I believe it's on the list. Yeah.
No, too bad because I'd love to know what happened right
Too
now.
bad I already watched it. That's what Dan
well,
said.
Dan, and that's the thing is, and this the only time I'm going to talk about the English remake because I've never seen it. But
Wow,
this is
that
the
was
part.
fast.
No, I was gonna say is that's what I want to say. It kind of gave away the ending of this movie, and it gave away the ending of Quarantine. Was remember like the very ending of the trailer for Quarantine was
Yeah.
the last shot was the girl getting dragged
I
off.
mean, the cover of the DVD is the very last
for
shot.
Quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah, both.
Well,
both
this was
Quarantine
the
and Wreck.
trailer. Oh, well, I never.
Oh, I didn't. I
This
didn't
is
pick
when the
that up in
TV.
Rec.
This
Well,
was
'cause
this was
on
also the
booths,
TV.
I
All
think
I
spot.
see is just this.
That's a different one, but on the cover of the DVD, it's the infrared of the girl on the floor.
Oh, I
see,
didn't
the
see it.
one,
Yeah, I
the
saw
one
one.
I
Yeah.
always see because of the collection I own is the one with like the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
That's
that
the
one.
one
It was a cool
I
poster.
forgot that's what it was.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is I remember even in the TV spots it was like Quarantine coming up Friday. It was the girl being dragged. I was like,
That's the ending.
you're telling everyone the ending of your movie.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, so
Who was
you've
the-
never seen Quarantine?
No,
You have.
I lived it.
We all did.
I didn't watch it. I only watched Quarantine 2.
oh,
the first-
Terminal.
Really?
Quarantine 2 Terminal.
Can I tell you
Does
the
that pick up exactly what quarantine is?
no,
Is
it's
it
at
the
the
same
airport. It's
thing?
at the airport. Quarantine,
Quarantine
2 Terminal.
It's not even the airport. It's just the terminal.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're not really
And
selling
I
me on
just
watching
did
it.
15 minutes, so I'm like, I'm good.
Who's the little kid up in the attic?
It's the girl that got possessed and kidnapped from church.
Oh, that's who that is?
Yeah. Who does it remind you of?
I don't know.
Harry Nipple.
Harry
Oh, you're talking
Nipple.
about
The
you're
girl
talking
now.
ab-
The girl now.
the, the grown now. Oh, that's immediately what I thought. I'm talking
Right?
about when he goes
The
up in
kid.
the attic and looks around.
Oh,
like,
no,
"Man!"
that I don't know, actually.
Yeah, who was that jump scare?
Isn't that
was the one
isn't
jump
that-
scare.
Isn't there a brother or something?
No, I was gonna say, isn't that the kid of the immigrant couple?
There you go.
It's Bart's brother.
Okay, I mean, I'm fine with whoever it was,
Yeah.
but that was like the only real jump scare moment in the
But
movie.
that it got me, though.
Oh, yeah.
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 But-
But no, I totally reminded me of
Yeah,
Harry
right?
Nipple.
I
100%.
feel like
Harry Nipples.
Is that a sentence you ever
Harry Nipple.
thought? Is that with the lightning bolt? on
Harry
it?
Nipple?
Is
You're
it-
a wizard.
Is that a statement before we did the buggers you ever thought you would ever say in your life? It reminded me of a hairy nipple.
no, or the fact that the word hair nipple reminded you instantly of
Immediately.
who-
Monster.
Immediately.
Yeah.
That's who I saw. I immediately went, oh, that's...
Yeah. I
What
feel
is
like it's
hairy
just a copy
nipple
and
in
paste.
reference to?
Why don't you say it? You like to ask questions. Why don't you answer your own
I already
question?
know the
You
answer.
know what?
It's
Sam?
in response to previous episode.
Of? He can't remember the name of the
Travis, just
movie.
say it.
He can't remember the
I
name of the
can't
movie.
remember the name of the
Barbarian.
movie. Barbarian.
Wow.
Conan.
Wow, Barbara.
Barbarian.
You all should listen to it if you haven't heard it. It's a
That
very
was a good
funny
episode.
episode. Good episode.
Honestly,
Just the hair nipple.
I have to suggest you watch Quarantine. There's enough that's
Don't
different
tell
in
me
it.
what to do.
There's enough that's different
Is it
in
on
it
the
that you
Boots?
might be interested in.
On the
It's
Boots?
on the yes.
It's on Vudu.
But there's actually a kill in that's not in this
Really?
that involves the camera, and it's actually really, really cool.
Fine, I'll
The
watch
original
it.
movie, am I right? That's what it kills.
Shut the fuck up. It's the same. It's longer than I'm assuming.
Hour
I
16.
believe so.
Hour 28, I
say
think.
anything.
That's
Let me
scary.
see.
So they did it with the camera.
Yeah,
That's
with the
cool.
camera and like the lens just goes in. It's really cool.
Okay.
And also the drop scene is pretty
Did you see it in theaters, Frank?
horrific.
I'm going to pass.
Did you see it in
I
theaters,
just feel
Frank?
like
did.
I saw
Yeah,
Wreck,
remember?
and I don't need to see the...
Oh, it's the same building. Ooh, head first.
Oh yeah, it's
Gruesome. Okay, fine.
very
you got
gruesome.
me. You got me.
oh.
Fine, I'll watch it tonight.
Frank, what? Because the reason I never watched Quarantine because I just assumed it was just a cheap cash grab.
Well, it probably is.
It probably is.
But they
but
did.
it's also like
But the people, people who made the movie put in effort. What you're saying?
they put an effort.
They weren't
It's
phoning it in.
watching both. You're gonna see a lot. You're gonna get a lot of deja vu. Like even down to the scene where they go to one of the windows and like the tarps start closing in. Like it all looks very similar, but they do enough that's different to make
They
it.
tried to make it different. They did. Just,
The only thing that's different is that the source of the you still have the penthouse scene, but the source of like the actual virus is, you know what? It's almost like an alternate universe take on it because they have everything up until the penthouse scene, and then when they play the recording, they play it at the wrong speed, so it's all garbled, so you don't get the details of the virus.
That's
it just
kind of
moves
cool,
on.
actually. I think Dan would have preferred that too.
Yeah, I think
Just not having to
Well,
know. It's
because
like, well, I
he's-
don't need to know.
it's because he's an English speaker. It
Need
was
to know
made for
what?
Huh?
I've just checked out.
No, Frank said in the original when they get the recording and they play it back at the wrong speed, so you can't hear what's going on, so you don't find out what the source of the virus is.
quarantine.
In Quarantine, the remake.
Yeah, I don't know that I needed to really know that. I'm still not sure that I gain anything from it.
I do think it's an interesting. I think it has value in this because it kind of cements that it's a different take on the zombie genre. So they're like a product of like demon possession versus just being like infected like scientific like virus gobble whatever, you know, like
Gobbledygook.
gobbledygoops. Yes, all the goops.
The gops and goops.
But you know, it's you don't get too many like demon possession, infection, found footage.
There's not a lot of those laying around.
So I think on the basis of that alone, I'm still cool with the lore being what it is and it being explained. Because if it wasn't explained in the movie, you would never have guessed it.
But also, I feel like I'm too nosy, so I want to know why.
That's true. You are.
Would you
Okay,
like to
shut
know?
up.
Would you like to know more?
So and then you said that you didn't mind, but for me, if they had cut it out or left it out, I would have been like, but why? I think there was a movie I don't remember that didn't explain something, and it still made me curious to this day. I'm just like, if they just explained it, just a sentence would be nice. It comes at night.
You got it in this movie. So
It comes at night.
I like that
Ew.
movie.
Because it comes at night.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it
I don't
comes
know,
at
I like
night.
the movie.
Because it comes at night.
All right.
It bones at night.
Ooh.
Why did you ooh that?
Different meaning.
That's your found footage. That's your found footage
Frank,
porno.
If okay, so that
bones at
that
night.
part where Angelo had to go find Keith and the interns.
Mm-hmm.
First off, these apartment rooms are lavish as hell.
Oh, they're really nice.
go out.
Right?
They really
They're
go
really
in.
nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you think
Tall
they're small
ceilings?
rooms, and they like it's like whoa, this is deep.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
funny
she said.
when I was watching it this time, I was thinking the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, how much is
how
one
I
of these?
feel like those things exist in Europe. I feel like
Yeah.
these are, buildings that are hundreds of years old.
Here would be like 56.
You're hundreds of years old.
I am.
Wait, I'm not done with my question.
Yes.
So, how would you feel if that part of when Angela had to go in and like find the keys and whatnot was an escape room? Would you participate?
Oh, Jesus. Maybe.
I would. Have you ever done an escape room? It got me thinking we should all do it. That's a teamwork exercise.
Yes.
Travis just shakes his head no.
Well,
He's got bad experiences with escape rooms. He survived 2 of them.
No, there was a summer where I did a bunch of them.
Was that a camp summer?
Yes.
Because I remember you guys were doing them all the time.
And you sat out the window like they never asked me to go.
No, I wouldn't go.
How many kids survived?
No, we
these
did
are the
it. It
counselors.
was after.
This is when counselors were. You guys were doing stuff all the time. You were going to escape rooms. You were going to somebody's
They were just
I'm
trying to
sorry.
escape Travis.
Oh, wow.
club thing.
I'm sorry, we
This
had
was pre-COVID
fun.
when they had money.
Mhm.
Monies.
Money, please.
What is it?
I remember that. I remember all that.
No kids, all monies.
No, okay, so
Playing
That's funny 'cause
softball
it's true.
games. You probably didn't do that though.
Oh, damn.
I sat on the side and said, "Yay, team!" I didn't get to
They
play.
didn't pick you.
They picked a rock over me.
That's not nice.
I gotta say,
I think we're good, right?
yeah,
Wait, what did you want to say?
I gotta say, it's time for final thoughts. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Sam.
Mm-hmm.
All right, start it, Dan.
Start it, Dan.
I am not going to start
God
I'll
damn
start.
it.
just because I'm
Yeah, because this
looking.
was Sam's pick. I mean, she picked it out of the.
No, you can
Ah.
say it. I mean, I said it. I've seen it like 6 times. I really like this movie. And I think it's because of nostalgia, but it started this like horror thing. It went,
As I recall.
as I recall, it was a horror
It
film.
was a horror film.
I don't know if it's a good thing that it started.
It awakened.
This like deep dive of how far can it go? Really?
Speaking of reawakened.
Oh no.
What was that?
Reawaken.
Reawakened.
But what?
You are condemned.
That's
Whatever
a
your name was.
That's a movie I don't
to
remember.
burn in hell.
That's a movie I don't remember anything about. I forgot even what your scene was.
So what I love
I
about
played
this
a
movie was that
magistrate.
it was all in one setting, but however, the location within it kept things entertaining, and all the different characters it had that turned into infected, it just kept the story going so fast that I just didn't really care to like stop and think much about like the story and if it was believable or not. I said it all. So I give this movie 4.5 conchitas out of 5.
That's
Like
a lot
it.
of conchitas.
A lot of
I'll
conchitas.
go.
I think you though. We stop and we question story points and lines and stuff when we're not engaged. That's when you do start questioning stuff, when you're taken out of it. In this movie, you were not taken out of it. So, yeah, you would never stop and go, well, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Right.
Because like you said, you're getting information on an as-needed basis. So you didn't really have a chance to
Let me rewind.
really judge.
Mm-hmm.
Travis?
Thoughts.
Oh, I got plenty
Final
of them.
thoughts?
Concerns.
No. Okay, so earlier on, I was, kind of talking about. I was kind of bashing on found footage a little bit. I know, I was bashing on it, but I actually really like found footage movies a lot. One
Nice,
that
thanks,
I
Frank.
bashed a little bit was Cloverfield. I'm a big fan of Cloverfield. I know Dan. I'm the exact opposite of Dan. I know Dan hates found footage. I think when I've always kind of had a soft spot for it. I really like it. I think you can be inventive. I think it'd be cool.
But he's also down.
Most of the time, I'll admit I do get burned, but I
Yeah.
do enjoy the genre, and I think this is if Dan had told me before I don't like found footage, like Sam kind of do with this one, I would have been like, no, Dan, you got to watch this one. I feel like this is not. I feel like a while ago, like Blair Witch was always the standard, like, oh, you got to watch this for found footage. I think the marketing was a little better than the movie itself, but
For Blair Witch?
yeah, I think this is a very good, starting point, and for some it might actually be the height of found footage. No, I enjoy it. I actually had the same rating as Sam for this one.
What?
Mine is 4.5.
Wow.
More
But
conchitas.
there was I can't pinpoint the exact moment, but there was a really funny part. I think the characters were going, or someone said something, and someone slapped someone in the face in the movie. And
That was me.
I thought it was kind of funny. So
You know who reminds me of you?
4.5 slaps.
Yes.
Caesar.
is it Malone?
Which one?
Caesar.
The
he
dog
was- he
whisperer?
No, he was the
Julius?
old guy. That like
I
when,
fucking hate you for that.
when they were gonna interview him, he goes, "Let me fix my hair really quick." So
I
it's just
thought that
like,
guy was great. I love that guy.
right? And he's like, "Oh, when are we
How
gonna start the interview?" Like we
Fucking
did.
Oh yeah, we already did. That was a good moment. But fuck you.
That
No, I'm
guy
gonna give
survived
it-
a lot longer than I thought
I'll
he was
give
going
it
to.
4.5 English dubs. Terrible
That's a good
English
one.
dubs out of
That's a
5.
good
That's
one.
good. We're keeping you last, right, Dan?
We don't have to.
Keeping
All right,
you
anyways.
lost.
Frank, go.
Well, we are. So
Yeah,
We're
deal
going to
with
dub over Frank. I mean, Dan.
it. Okay.
I believe
Lo
you.
que me gustó de esta película.
Hey guys, my name is Frank, and today I watched.
I really like this movie. I've only seen it 3 times, so going into it, I kind of forgot how intense and nonstop it becomes when everything starts picking up. But I also kind of mixed up some of the scenes that I remember from it with quarantine. So there was moments where I was like, "Wait, what? We're going past this." And I think that kind of like affected my viewing a little bit because I was expecting something else. When I didn't get it, I was like, "Oh, okay." Because there's things that the other movie does that this movie doesn't do that would be logical, like, oh, this is what happens if you do this. So my rating is a little like biased because of that.
Wow.
However, I think the movie is really, really good, worth
You said
rewatching.
bias.
Shut the
How
fuck up.
fucking dare you?
Wait, what happened?
He said biased.
So
Because I said biased. So, there's not much else that I can say that I haven't already said.
Mhm.
So I will just say that my rating was 4 out of 5.
Oh my gosh. 4 out of 5.
4
Perfect.
out of 5. Sexy firemen with sledgehammers.
Was this before or after they jumped?
I'm asking.
It was after.
I have a question
good.
for you. In quarantine, were the firemen, because it was shot here, were they more like your classic firemen of the United States, which are all good-looking guys with mustaches? Because I was shocked at how unattractive these firemen were. Just like, and they were old.
They don't
Yeah.
do
Were
it.
they?
It's like,
They didn't do it for
firemen
you.
here, like I have a fire station around the corner. You anytime you walk by, these guys are all hunks, man. These are all
There's a fire
Doesn't
these
do
are
it for
good-
you?
around the-
good-looking guy. You don't see
Frank, I
unattractive
think you and I
firemen.
should be here more often.
So how did the firemen in the quarantine look? I feel like they had to go more classic American firemen, maybe.
Was it rugged?
You know, just
Oh, they were like
ripped,
super attractive.
Dan,
good-looking guys.
They looked like your tow truck driver
I mean,
today.
they put out calendars, firemen, in this country.
Yeah.
I have a question as a part of my final thoughts. What is the movie before Blair Witch that was a found footage
Cannibal
movie?
Holocaust.
Yup. And we're watching that, next
That
week.
wasn't a big hit though. What was there a movie before Blair Witch that was a big big hit?
Found footage.
Yeah.
Not really.
So that for me, that's the first found footage
Blair
movie
Witch?
I really remember.
Yeah, I think it was the first for a lot of people.
Okay, so I saw that movie. So
Cannibal Holocaust?
No.
Oh.
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch. So that's kind of what set my feelings about found footage, and that's considered to be a really good movie. I would argue to my grave that it is not a good movie.
Great marketing.
I mean, great marketing, amazing marketing,
And that's-
super
yeah.
cool, and that's it. The marketing is so much better than
Just
the movie.
overhyped.
But that's just, obviously the movie made a ton of money. But so given that, and then I've seen Cloverfield. I saw that. We've watched a couple, I feel like, in our podcast journey.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie really delivers the goods. I mean, for a found footage movie, for a genre I'm not wild about. Travis said I hate it. I don't think that's a pretty strong word, but
That's
for
why
the
you
found
used
footage genre, this one gets about as good as you can get.
I can't wait for this rating.
It delivers the goods about as well as you could do. In fact, I found myself really not even thinking about it as a found footage movie when it was really going. I was just thinking about somehow get me out of this apartment building.
Get me out of
I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
Release me.
And interestingly, similar to the Descent in that you're trapped in a place. You've literally been sealed off, cannot get out. Like in Descent, you're in a cave trying to get out. Very similar reasons why these movies are very effective and engaging. And I really, outside of a couple of little things, like I didn't need all the information at the end, I bought into the reason why the camera was running and why the camera was on the whole time. I had no issue with that. And I didn't really think about the rewinding part. Once you brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, you can't do that. But when it happened, I didn't.
Yeah, no,
Question
in the
it,
moment
yeah.
you don't
It
question.
didn't even strike me. Maybe because I was so into it, I actually wanted to go back and see what I missed. Yeah, let's go back and look at that again.
Roll the tape.
So I really enjoyed it. My score is slightly lower than the Descent.
2.
It's a
4.4.
3.9.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
A 3.9 handcuffs out of 5.
Wow. Handcuffs.
Yeah.
So basically, sexy fireman as well.
You can't go wrong with handcuffs. I'm sorry.
And
out it's
They're
sexy
so
firemen.
useful.
Anyways, join us next week.
And
Let me pick the
all I have
movie.
to
Let me
say
pick the
about
movie.
that.
Okay, Forrest Gump.
Wait, hold on.
Shit.
I have another
Foreskin.
question. So if
Forrest Hump.
Oh, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Hump.
stop.
Say that one more time.
No.
Forrest Hump.
All right. Question:
Yes.
Would you guys rather be stuck in a cave like The Descent or
Apartment building.
Can you?
I'm sorry,
Fucking,
She wasn't even going to say it.
oh my god.
Cave
Okay, whatever.
scare
Here,
me.
pick the fucking thing.
What was
I'm
the
sorry.
question? I
Actually,
want
you
to know.
don't even get to pick it.
No, please, rewind. Sorry, it's just caves scare me. Go on. So what were you saying?
No, you don't get a chance.
Okay, no, because I want to hear your
I'm
question.
gonna say it. You don't need to talk.
What was the other thing?
Would you rather get stuck in a cave like The Descent or stuck in the apartment?
But
A fire
Sam,
station.
is it the like I'm in the cave, like just being stuck in a cave in general, or is it like the descent creatures are in there too?
The descent
So
creatures
we're
are in
full
there
on
too.
like this. Oh,
And then
maybe
there's also the infected in the apartment.
maybe apartment building.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like I could survive the apartment building
I would
more
jump
than
out
the
the
cave.
window.
Well,
I would
that-
rather the health department shoot me
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
than get killed by
Well,
the.
because here's the thing
They
too.
make good on that promise in
Here's the
quarantine.
thing too,
Oh, shit.
Sam. If I'm being like chased by a creature and I fall on a trip and then I like break my legs and I get trapped in darkness for like 4 days and like bleed
You wouldn't
out
make
or
it in
like
That's
4 days.
miserable.
that's why I don't want that.
What about you, Dan?
I don't think there's an answer to your question.
He
Would you rather
Because
die or
you're
die?
dead. There's no like not being
But I
dead
feel
in
like
your question.
The descent dead is a lot more
Dead.
doomed. Because you're in the cave. You can't get out. No one knows you're there.
Considering I've not seen the sequel to
Wreck.
Wreck, I'm just going off of the fact that nobody survived in Wreck,
At one point, they end up on a boat.
and nobody and the girl survived in Descent. We had a survivor.
And
well,
she
we
got
don't know
out.
that because in the original cut, she woke up back in the cave,
Yeah, I really like that.
right?
I
so
wish
then
that's
you would
what we
wake up
would've
back in the
seen.
cave.
Bleak.
There's no good answer, Sam.
All right.
I have no answer for you.
Get it. Get it.
Wheel of
Get it.
morality.
Get it.
Turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn.
All right, to the next movie.
Legally Blonde,
Legally bonded.
For our it would be like Lily Blonde 2.
the White House.
What is it?
No.
What is this? What is this?
Oh, you'd say about any movie in
No,
there.
no,
You
thi-
love
no,
all these
no,
movies.
no. Dan's car breaks down. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is actually one.
That's weird.
It's actually perfect that I did grab this one.
Oh my God, just say it.
Ready or Not.
Ooh.
Yeah. They've been trying to get me to watch this
I
for
mean,
years.
that's the only movie that you haven't seen. We've all seen it, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
First
I-
time ever.
And I will tell you, I've seen it more than once.
Wow.
I
Wow.
don't see
Spoiler
movies.
alert.
And
And I have a great story about the second time I watched it with my family, which I will tell after we watch the movie.
And-
after we
Nice.
have the podcast.
Exciting.
and Dan's even seen the found footage version.
which is amazing.
Tip photo.
Amazing.
I think I compared
Amazing.
a movie I was not. Oh, so what was the movie where they're all trapped in the house? It's the family, and then the wolf, and everybody's firing arrows, and everybody.
You're next.
You're next, right?
There you go.
That
Wolf
was the
Mask.
movie. You're next. Yeah. We
What
had
do you think of a
there
real
was
wolf?
Yeah, I was like,
There was
I
a
don't remember
Brotherhood
that in
of the Wolf?
Brotherhood of the
Wasn't
Wolf.
there a wolf mask, and there was
Yes,
a,
yes.
There's
bunny.
a lamb.
It was. You're next. Is when I
No,
brought
You're
up,
Next.
when I brought up Ready
No,
or
You're
Not,
Next.
saying You're Next could have used a little more Ready or Not.
Humor.
A little more Ready or Not.
To be
would've been
continued.
good. Yes, you're gonna. I'm very anxious to hear your thoughts of the movie. Personally, I think you should have seen it like 3-4 years ago.
Personally, I think you should mind your own business, but
this
Spicy.
I want to say
this
I'm
doesn't
glad.
fit you missing this movie.
I'm glad
Doesn't
we're going
fit.
back to the weekly basis now.
Yeah.
'Cause
Me too.
yeah.
I don't
No,
know
you
why, but
it was Travis that got us off the weekly basis.
Yeah.
I think we were
'Cause
all a little. I
he
think
just couldn't handle
we were-
watching a movie every week.
it was a busy time.
No,
we were all burned out
I think
a little
what
bit.
Well,
fucked it up
burned
was
out.
trying to do 2 or 3 movies at once, and also
Yeah.
doing the ones where we did like 3 episodes of Last of Us, a movie, and Scream.
Yeah, some days I'd be like, okay, today I'd get home. I'm
Too
gonna watch
much.
this
Yeah.
from 2 to 4,
Yeah.
this from 4 to 6.
I'd rather do them every week, and if we needed to take a break for a week,
I
we
was
take
gonna
a
say
break,
that, yeah.
not do every other week.
No, and I think, like I said, if we pick a movie where we're like, okay, like there's a lot of backstory in this movie. Let's maybe take a little bit of time so we can research it.
I think we're good for Ready or Not next week.
All right,
I
let's
think
do
so.
it.
are you ready or not?
That's like 90.
Ready
that's
or
like,
not?
that's like
Didn't they play that
90
song
minutes
in the
you can
trailer?
handle.
I
Ready
think
or
s-
not?
I
No,
don't
they did
know.
not. That would have been tacky as fuck.
So,
So
you're
this-
saying
I
they never
mean-
do that?
This has been
Say my
fun.
name.
Down version.
I'm just going to roll on forward.
All right,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this is
roll
where we
on.
cut back in.
This has been fun. Please follow us, like us, share us, review us, comment on us.
It's kind of weird, but okay.
It's okay. And
Well, see you later.
I guess we'll see you next week. I'm Dan.
I'm Sam.
Hablo Travis.
Huh? Oh my God!
Yeah,
I heard something completely different.
I
Miyamo.
heard I'll blow Travis. What did you hear?
Okay, Dad.
All right, tune in next
That's why I
week
didn't
where
wanna say
we.
anything. Don't do that.
Wait, did I say
I
that?
was gonna say-
Yikes. We are out.
Haters Club. You make me sick. Ew.
I think it's funny.
All right. Ugh, I got it.